The room went silent when the wine hit her dress. A deep red stain spread across the white fabric, slow and cruel, like it was meant to be seen. The rich boy stood frozen for half a second, then he laughed. His parents laughed too, not a nervous laugh, not an apology laugh, a loud, proud laugh, the kind that says we are untouchable. She didn't scream, she didn't cry, she didn't even look angry, she just stood there. A black woman, soaked in humiliation, surrounded by powerful white executives who pretended nothing was wrong. The music kept playing, glasses kept clinking. Deals worth hundreds of millions were being discussed just a few feet away. No one knew who she really was, and that was their biggest mistake. Because in less than 20 minutes, one quiet decision would wipe out a $650 million deal and change every life in that room forever. Her name was Aaliyah Monroe. She was 34 years old, calm, private, focused. Most people never noticed her when she walked into a room, and she had learned to live with that. Growing up as a black girl in spaces that were never built for her taught her one thing: early silence can be safer than speaking. Aaliyah grew up watching her mother clean offices at night while wearing the same tired smile every day. She learned how to lower her voice, how to dress modestly, how to work twice as hard and expect half the credit. In college, she was always the only black girl in the room. Professors confused her with other students who looked nothing like her. Group projects slowly pushed her aside. Compliments came with surprise. You're so articulate. You don't act like the others. She swallowed it all. After graduation, the corporate world welcomed her with cold hands. Meetings where her ideas were ignored until repeated by someone else. Promotions that went to people with less experience. Smiles that felt fake. Respect that never came easily, so she built something of her own. Quietly, relentlessly, years of 4 a.m. mornings, missed holidays, empty apartments, loneliness she never spoke about. By the time she became CEO of Monroe Strategic Systems, a global tech consulting firm, she had learned how to walk into rooms where she was underestimated and let them believe it. That night, the charity gala was supposed to be just another business obligation. A place full of powerful families, old money, and polite racism hidden behind tuxedos and champagne. She wore a simple white dress. No diamonds, no announcement. Just another black woman, they thought. They were wrong. The ballroom shimmered with gold lights and quiet arrogance. Aaliyah felt it the moment she walked in, the sideways looks, the pause before smiles, the way conversations dipped when she passed by. She had felt this energy her entire life. Servers brushed past her without offering drinks. Security glanced at her badge twice. A group of women near the entrance whispered and laughed behind their hands. She ignored it. She always did. Near the center of the room stood Evan Whitmore, 22 years old, tall, confident, loud. The only son of a billionaire investment family. He had grown up believing consequences were for other people. Wine glass in hand, ego even fuller. He noticed Aaliyah the moment she stood near the main table. Not because he recognized her, but because she didn't belong in his world. He leaned toward his friends and smirked. They laughed. His voice carried just enough to be heard. Who invited the help? Aaliyah heard it. She felt the old familiar sting, the one she had trained herself to bury. She kept her face calm, her eyes steady. Silence had always been her armor. Evan stepped closer, too close. As he turned dramatically, his arms swung wide. The wine glass tilted. Red liquid poured straight down the front of her dress. Gasps filled the air, then laughter. His mother covered her mouth, pretending shock while smiling through it. His father chuckled openly, shaking his head like it was a harmless joke. No apology came. Instead, Evan raised his empty glass like a toast. Aaliyah stood there, drenched, heart-pounding. She felt dozens of eyes on her, waiting for her to react, waiting for her to explode. Waiting for her to confirm every ugly stereotype they believed. She did none of it. She slowly looked down at her dress, then back up, her face unreadable. Someone nearby whispered, "These people are always so sensitive." Another voice muttered, "She should be grateful she was invited." Aaliyah turned away and walked calmly toward the restroom. Each step felt heavier than the last. Her reflection stared back at her stained, humiliated, but unbroken. In the bathroom, she locked herself inside a stall. Her hands trembled for the first time that night, not from embarrassment, from anger, from memory, every ignored meeting, every forced smile. Every moment she had swallowed injustice just to survive. She wiped the wine off her hands and took a deep breath. Then she pulled out her phone. She didn't cry. She made a call. Back in the ballroom, Evan bragged loudly, reenacting the moment as people laughed. His parents stood proudly beside him. The night continued like nothing happened, until a staff member rushed toward the stage, whispering urgently to the event coordinator. Then another executive checked his phone. Then another. Confusion spread. Music softened. Smiles faded. Something was happening. The host stepped onto the stage, clearing his throat. His voice shook. "Ladies and gentlemen, we need to pause the evening's proceedings." Murmurs filled the room. The massive screen behind him lit up. A logo appeared, Monroe Strategic Systems. Aaliyah walked back into the ballroom. The wine-stained dress was gone. She wore a tailored black suit now, sharp, commanding. Different. The room froze. She walked straight to the front, heels echoing against marble. Every step felt like justice, arriving late but arriving strong. She took the microphone. "My name is Aaliyah Monroe," she said calmly. "CEO of Monroe Strategic Systems." Gasps. Executives straightened, faces drained of color. She turned slightly toward Evan's parents. "For the past 8 months," she continued, "my company has been negotiating a $650 million partnership with Whitmore Holdings." Silence. Evan's father stepped forward, confused. "There must be a mistake." Aaliyah looked him directly in the eye. "There is no mistake." She paused. "After witnessing the values displayed tonight, the disrespect, the laughter, I am officially withdrawing Monroe Strategic Systems from all current and future negotiations with your company." A collective breath left the room. Phones buzzed. Whispers turned into panic. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't insult anyone. She simply stated the truth. "Racism doesn't disappear because you wear a tuxedo," she said, "and power doesn't excuse cruelty." She turned back to the crowd. To those who watched and said nothing, silence is a choice. Evan stood frozen, his smile gone. His parents looked shattered. In less than a minute, everything they believed about their status collapsed. Aaliyah handed the microphone back and walked out. No applause followed, just shock. The fallout was immediate. News headlines spread within hours. Investors pulled out. Board members demanded answers. Whitmore Holdings lost more than a deal. They lost trust. Evan disappeared from public view. His parents released statements filled with empty apologies. Aaliyah said nothing. She didn't need to. Her company received messages from around the world. From young black women who finally felt seen. From professionals who had stayed silent too long. She didn't cancel the deal out of revenge. She canceled it out of self-respect. Weeks later, she stood in her office overlooking the city. The same city that once told her she wasn't enough. She smiled softly, not because she won, but because she chose herself, because dignity finally spoke louder than fear, and because one quiet black woman reminded the world that power doesn't come from money. It comes from knowing your worth. If this story moved you, it's because stories like this happen every day just without cameras. Silence protects injustice, but sharing stories breaks it. If you believe dignity matters. If you believe respect should never be optional. If you believe voices like Aaliyah's deserve to be heard, please like this video, subscribe to this channel, share this story. You're not just watching. You're standing with something bigger.